Hello and welcome to another session on superposition principle, which is applicable to the uh, Coulomb's law in order to find out the force exerted by a number of charges on the given point where we are placing some test charge, right? So uh, this we can do with the method of this superposition principle. So here I have used the term test charge. So what is a test charge? It is nothing complicated but a simple term which represents a charge which is used to experience the effect of the other charges, right? And for understanding that and for calculating the force exerted by all other charges on the given test charge, we are taking the test charge to be 1 unit positive charge. So 1 unit positive charge we are taking as the test charge on which the electrostatic force due to all other charges can be calculated by the method of superposition principle and by using the Coulomb's law. So what is superposition principle? First we try to understand the concept. So let me define it in a simple way. So superposition principle, so it says that the electrostatic or Coulomb's force due to a number of charges, if we have a number of charges lying in the space, charges lying in a discrete manner, in any arbitrary manner on the given charge, if we are trying to find out the force on the given charge due to a number of charges which are lying in a discrete manner, then this electrostatic force, according to this principle, it is the net force which is found by the sum. It is the net force found by the sum of what? Of forces exerted by each individual charge on the given charge, right? So we have to consider the electrostatic force exerted by each and every individual charge on the given charge and sum all these forces, then we can calculate the electrostatic force due to all the charges on the given charge, which is the net force here. So this is what superposition principle says. To see how it works, let us take the case of few charges. Suppose that we have two charges, Q1 which is lying at position A and Q2 charge which is lying at position B. So we have two charges due to which we are trying to find out the force on the given test charge. So in order to distinguish the test charge, which is a unit positive charge, test charge is nothing but the unit positive charge which is used to test the forces exerted by the charges, other charges which are lying in the vicinity of this given charge. So to distinguish the test charge from all other charges, we use the symbol Q naught for the test charge. Let it be at position O. So test charge is lying at position O and there are two charges which are lying in any discrete manner. So they are exerting some force on Q naught. So how do we find the net force on Q naught? We can find the net force on Q naught, the given charge, test charge, due to any number of charges. Here we are taking two charges by using the principle of superposition. So first we have to consider the force exerted by each and individual charge. So there are two charges. So this one is exerting some force on charge Q1. Direction is not important here. However, you can take the direction also if you know the kind of charges. This is a unit positive charge. You can take all other charges to be positive and keep the directions and polarities in mind while writing the expressions. Okay. So I am taking that the distance of test charge Q naught from the first charge, which is Q1, it is R1 for example, and write the expression for the force exerted by this charge Q1 on charge Q naught. So therefore I say that this force exerted by first charge Q1 on charge Q naught, it is F1. So this is written as K into Q1 into Q2. Here both the charges out of which one is Q naught, the test charge, other one is the Q1, right, upon the separation between them, which is written as R1 square. So this is the first force which is exerted by the first particle or first charged particle. Okay. In terms of vector notation, you can put a vector here and you can put a unit vector here, depending upon the situation. And also, you can write the expression for the force exerted by charge Q2. So force exerted by charge Q2, we can write it by considering the position of charge Q0 from Q2. Let it be R2. So this distance is R2. So we can write the force F2, the force exerted by charge Q2 on the test charge. You can write the symbol not here in every expression if you find it to be more easy to remember. Okay. So this is equal to K into Q0. Out of these two charges, it is Q0 into Q2 upon the separation between them, which we are taking as R2 the square. Right. One more thing you have to keep in mind, that force exerted by one charge on the other, it is independent of the presence of any other charge around it. So whenever we are writing the force due to first charge on the given test charge Q0, it does not matter whether Q2 is present there or not, or any other charge is present there or not. So therefore there is no effect of Q2 on this expression, and also there is no effect of Q1 on this expression. So therefore the net force, so net force we can write according to the principle of superposition, which says that the net force F, or simply F, it is given by the sum of the forces exerted by individual charged particle, which is F1 naught plus F2 naught. The force exerted by first charge on the given test charge Q naught and the force exerted by charge Q2 on the given test charge Q naught. So we are just adding them algebraically. So this is the expression we can write according to the principle of superposition. So F becomes equal to F naught 1 naught, it becomes equal to K into Q naught Q1 divided by R1 square plus K into Q naught Q2 square divided by R2 square. Other thing is just mathematics. You can take some common factors out. K is common, Q naught is also common. So inside we are left with only Q1 upon R1 square plus here we are left with only Q2 square upon R2 square. Right? If we had one more charge Q3, we can write the expression according to that. Here comes F30 as K into Q naught Q3 upon R3. If we take the distance of test charge from that third charge Q3 as R3 square. You can also include this third factor here. So this can be continued for the discrete number of charges. So in general, this net force, you can write it any way that you find easy to remember or identify. So net force in general can be written as K into Q naught into summation. Summation of what? It is Qi upon Ri square. This is the mathematical form of generalizing the result if it extends to n number of charges which are exerting the force on the given test charge, where I goes from 1 to n. So this is how we make the use of superposition principle in order to write the force on the given test charge due to all other charges present in a discrete manner. You can also write these expressions and this net expression in terms of its vector form and also in terms of its position vector form. That I leave up to you. Thank you.